I am excited to introduce you to Dr. Michelle Peticolas. Now, she and I are close friends. We've had a mastermind for the last 2 years or so, every Monday morning, and now we've added extra days. So it's pretty awesome, and I'm pleased to introduce her to you. She empowers women leaders and change makers to face their fears in order to reclaim their authentic power. She is a national speaker and leads workshops for organizations and groups, including the Commonwealth Club of San Francisco, UCSF Medical Center, JFK University, and UC Berkeley. Her award-winning documentary series, Secrets of Life and Death, is screened in universities throughout the United States and Canada and Australia. She has appeared on Voice America's Empowering Women, KDIA's Aging in the Bay, BBM's Global Network Courage to Overcome, Money 1055's Rush Hour for Success, and KPFA's Women's Magazine. With a PhD in sociology and over 18 years of experience, Michelle coaches people through major life challenges. An expert on loss, emotional wounds, and unresolved grief, she is the featured author in the soon-to-be-released anthology, Breaking Barriers. Please help me welcome Dr. Michelle Peticolas.
Are you a leader? Are you a change maker? Do you want to make a difference in this world? Great. Do you have a message? Do you have a calling? Do you have a legacy you want to make before you leave this world? Great. I empower leaders and change makers to face their fears, to break through their blocks in order to stand in their authentic power. And I have found in the 18 years of coaching leaders and change makers like you that at the core, at the root, are early childhood wounds, like Gary talked about, that keep us small. Yes. So I created a system of 3 keys to break through the beliefs and the habits that hold you back. And I'm going to share with you as much as I can of this system in the time that I have. But I don't have enough time to go through all of it. So later I'm going to be telling you about a program that will provide you with the practices and the exercises to help you break through your barriers. So let's begin. Please pick up your handouts, or at least make sure they're in front of you. You may notice that there is a triangle on the first page. That's what we're going to work on first. So at the top of the triangle, can you read that? What's it say? Brilliance. Brilliance is that energy, that power that comes to us through source and is translated through us into existence through our actions. And since there is only one of you in all time, your offering is unique. And if you block it, it will not exist in your specific form. And not only will you miss out, but the world will miss out. and we need you. So what gets in the way of your brilliance? Well, for that we have to go to key number 2. Can somebody read that? Body. They're great, aren't they? These bodies, they're wonderful. Mobile, dexterous, but they also have their own agenda. And that agenda is to keep us safe, to keep us alive. Great agenda, right? We want to be alive. Yeah, that's good. Only when the body is frightened, when the body is threatened, it triggers a survival response of fight, flee, and freeze. And when we're in this survival mode, we're operating from a very rudimentary part of our brain, the brain stem. And when we're operating from that brain stem, we are disconnected from our brilliance. In fact, we're kind of disconnected from our brains. So it's very hard to stand in our power when we're in that place of fight, flee, freeze. I have a technique that I use called body scan for helping you to release that energy so that you can reconnect with your brilliance. And it's called stress release body scan. And I would love to go through the exercise with you, but the time is really short. So later I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy, a digital download of my stress release body scan, which will help you to release that flight, flee, freeze. Now the third key brain. Do you see pattern going on here? Yeah. So when body is in its survival mode, this is great for protecting us from saber-toothed tigers, which of course don't exist anymore. But it's not so great for dealing with modern challenges. So brain is there to help us out. Brain comes up with beliefs and behaviors to help protect body. However, oftentimes these beliefs happened when we were very young, when the brain wasn't totally formed in its best level, and came as a result of challenges in our childhood, because no matter how great our parents are, they make mistakes. So we develop beliefs like not good enough, not lovable, unsafe, and with that also behaviors like people pleaser or perfecter or performer or shapeshifter or controller or rebel. And these patterns of behavior keep us alive, help us to survive through our childhood. But then as we get into our adulthood, they don't work so well anymore. They limit us, and in fact, they do not allow us to show up as our authentic self. So there is a fourth key. Please draw a circle around your triangle. Can you read that? Community. You are a social animal. You are actually wired to bond with other people because you survive better in community. If you were not bonded to your parents, do you know how long you would last? And how long does it take for us to grow up and not need our parents anymore? 18 years? 30 years? 50? So our community is really important to us. And it can be supportive, and it can be unsupportive. It can be sabotaging. So its approval or its disapproval has a huge impact on our well-being. Yes? Yeah. I would like you to take a moment and ask yourself, how is your community supporting you? And are they supporting you in your vision and purpose? Just take a moment. Every time you move forward towards your dream, do you get into an argument with your spouse? Or does your daughter have some sort of emotional crisis? Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. So when all four of these keys are in harmony, brilliance guides. We connect with the guidance of Source, and magic happens, and we are able to step into our authentic power. But when body is leading, or brain, or a community that is not supporting who you are, then you disconnect from your brilliance and you don't stand in your authentic power. And you set yourself up for regret. Hospice nurse and best-selling author Bronnie Ware tells us that the number one regret of the dying is, I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself instead of a life others expected of me. I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself instead of the life others expected of me. I have a question for you. If you could go back in time to 1 week or even 1 day, when would it be and why? If you could go back in time for 1 week, when would it be and why? I know where I would go. I would go back to 1998, the summer of 1998, when my mother was dying. She had gotten off of treatment for her breast cancer and had gone on hospice. And I had come to stay with her and help her finish up her business. And we were in her studio going through her papers. And I picked up a paper, and it was one of her drawings of one of her projects. And I gave it to her, and I said, "Do you need this anymore?" And she looked at it, and she said, "I guess I'll never get to that project." Her words pierced my heart, because I realized in that moment that she knew that she was dying and that she would never get to this cherished project. But I was afraid. And I took the paper back and I said, "We don't need to do this right now." And I didn't stand in that moment with her. I did not stay with her in that moment of sharing. And that moment of intimacy was lost forever. She died 2 weeks later. So if I could go back, I would have asked her, "What does that feel like? What is that like not to get to your project?" I would have stood with her in that moment of facing her regret and her dying. Instead, her regret became my moment of regret. So what do you regret? What are you not doing? What are you not completing? Please turn to the next page of your handout. It's called No Regret Breakthrough Questions. And we're going to go a little deep here because we hold these things inside. And if we do not shine a light on it, it will stay there in the dark forever. So the first question is, are you hiding your dreams and talents in a closet? Yes or no? Number 2, in order to move forward, are you waiting for more time, more money, more training, more courage, or something else to change? And 3, are you overcommitted? Are you overwhelmed? Are you overstressed? Choose the ones that apply. And number 4, are you putting other people's needs ahead of your own? For example, are you holding back on your dreams to take care of the needs of a daughter or a granddaughter or a niece? And if you are, aren't you teaching her to do the same? And number 5, what is hiding your dreams and talents costing you? Mentally, physically, spiritually. And how is it affecting your relationships? And who are you teaching to do the same thing? Write it down. And number 6, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you regret? I know it's hard to imagine dying tomorrow. It seems silly, right? But the fact is that none of us know. None of us know when we're going to die. I had a friend who begged her mother-in-law to come on a trip with her and her husband, the mother-in-law's son, to go to Hawaii. But the mother-in-law said, "No, I can't. My mother is dying and I have to stay here until she dies." Guess what? The son died first. Her husband died and the trip never happened. And number 7, how would your life be different if you lived with no regret? What would you be able to do? What would you be able to be? What would you be able to have? If you were no longer afraid of being yourself and standing in your authentic power. And let me explain a little bit about authentic power. Authentic power does not mean necessarily amassing great quantities of wealth or influence, although it might be a side benefit. There are many men in the world who have amassed great quantities of wealth and power, but they are not acting from their authentic self. In fact, they are very likely chasing after early childhood wounds of not enough and not lovable. And no matter how much they accumulate, it will never be enough. Authentic power is when you are your authentic self, when you share your true gifts, your purpose for being here. None of us know how long we have to live. My greatest wish for you is that you live and die without regret. Thank you.
Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message, help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message.